I keep all my purses. This one here is really special. If my house is on fire, I would take this one.
Hermes is in complete meltdown mode right now. The ultra-exclusive luxury titan just unleashed a barrage of desperate lawsuits against multiple Chinese factories, but these weren't just random workshops churning out fakes. These were Hermes' own manufacturing partners, the actual producers behind those $20,000 Birkin and $30,000 Kelly bags that celebrities and billionaires fight to own. And they've just blown the lid off the fashion industry's most carefully guarded secret. Internal documents, manufacturing records, and whistleblower testimonies are flooding social media, exposing the shocking truth behind those prestigious Made in France labels. As we speak, the luxury world is in absolute chaos. Hermes stock plunged 17% in a single trading day. Wealthy collectors are panic selling their prized Birkins before prices collapse further. And fashion insiders are scrambling to process what this means for an industry built on carefully constructed illusions of exclusivity and craftsmanship.
Yo, my arm is real. Don't love me because of no diamonds. Take all this. This bracelet right here look real as a. This shit was $23.
One leading luxury analyst put it bluntly, "This isn't just another minor scandal. We're witnessing the complete unraveling of luxury's most sacred brand. The ripple effects will transform the entire high-end fashion ecosystem." And he's right, because what's being revealed isn't just about Hermes, it's about the elaborate deception at the heart of the entire luxury industry. For decades, Hermes cultivated the perfect fantasy, exquisite bags lovingly handcrafted by skilled French artisans in quaint Parisian ateliers. Their expertly produced marketing videos showed dedicated craftspeople in pristine white coats meticulously sewing leather by hand, with classical music playing softly in the background. Every aspect of their brand communication emphasized tradition, heritage, and painstaking attention to detail. Their CEO even stated in a 2023 BBC interview, "We cannot increase production because true craftsmanship cannot be rushed. Each bag is a singular work of art created by hand in France by artisans who trained for a minimum of 4 years before being entrusted with creating a Kelly bag." This carefully crafted narrative allowed them to claim perpetual supply shortages, create artificial scarcity, and maintain wait lists stretching 2, sometimes 3 years for their most coveted designs. The Hermes mythology became the ultimate aspiration, not just a bag, but proof that you'd finally made it in life. Their products weren't merely accessories, they were investments that supposedly appreciated in value better than gold or real estate. Financial publications regularly featured Birkins as alternative investment assets, with headlines like "Why a Hermes Birkin is safer than gold" and "The luxury asset outperforming the S&P 500."
Speaking to this client here regarding selling her Birkin 30 Gris Etane, if I'm not wrong. Gris Etane is the color, and it's palladium hardware. The bag is in box fresh condition, but it's Y stamp, which means it's a 2020.
Is wearing a fake Louis Vuitton fanny pack and she didn't know it. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I know that this Louis Vuitton bag.
But that immaculately constructed image has now shattered beyond repair. According to explosive insider leaks and documentary evidence, up to 80% of these supposedly French luxury bags are actually manufactured in massive industrial facilities in China. And we're not talking about just minor components or small parts, we're talking about nearly the entire manufacturing process. The cutting, stitching, assembly, all the substantive work happens overseas in factory production lines where workers earn approximately $4 an hour. Hermes merely adds final touches in France, attaches their logo, and suddenly a bag largely made in Guangdong province is transformed into an authentic handcrafted French masterpiece with a $20,000 price tag. One former Hermes supply chain manager who spoke on condition of anonymity called it the greatest luxury deception ever perpetrated on consumers. The leaked documents paint a damning picture. Internal production sheets show the complete manufacturing journey of Birkin bags from initial leather cutting in Shandong province to nearly complete assembly in enormous industrial complexes outside Shanghai and Guangzhou. The exposed supply chain reveals a complex network of Chinese factories operating under strict NDAs, some handling exotic skins, others managing hardware production, with dedicated quality control teams ensuring the pieces meet luxury standards before being shipped to France. One insider from a factory outside Guangzhou revealed, "We produce approximately 150, 200 Birkin bag bodies per day at just one facility. The idea that each bag takes days to handmake by a single artisan is completely false. We have production lines with workers specializing in specific components. One person does handles all day, another does the body, another does hardware attachment. Shipping manifests obtained by industry watchdogs show regular cargo flights from China to Paris carrying thousands of near-complete luxury goods ready for final touches. These factories don't just make Hermes products, they simultaneously produce items for Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and even mid-market brands like Coach and Michael Kors. Sometimes they even produce items for IKEA and H&M. The same facilities, the same workers, often the same materials, just different labels attached at the end.
Hermes, they say, I want to buy one of these. You know what they say to you? No, we don't have them.
The latest Hermes bag with me. This is my first bag I got this year. I usually only get one bag a year, and this is the one for this year. And I'm really excited about it.
Meanwhile, the brands are laughing all the way to the...
First of all, you have to be Hermes customers. You have to demonstrate that you like the brand. And then you can only buy...
What's particularly revealing is how these factories are organized. Leaked floor plans show massive production lines with specialized stations for different luxury brands. Workers rotate between producing a $25,000 Hermes bag in the morning and assembling a $39.99 IKEA storage item in the afternoon. One Chinese production manager speaking anonymously explained, "We have contracts with over 30 European luxury houses. Our techniques and quality are excellent. The only difference is whether we attach their logo or not. The fashion houses know this, but their customers don't." Some workers even shared photos of the identical tools and equipment used for both luxury and mid-range products, demolishing the myth of special artisanal techniques. According to one leather cutting specialist who has worked for the same factory for 12 years, "I use the same machines, same processes, and same techniques whether I'm cutting leather for a luxury brand or a mid-market one. The patterns are different, but the work is identical. The only real difference is how carefully we inspect the final product." When these Chinese manufacturers started sharing receipts and evidence online, Hermes completely lost control of the narrative. The factories weren't showing how to make convincing fakes, they were showing production processes, costs, and proving they were making the real bags that end up in Hermes boutiques worldwide. What was initially dismissed as counterfeiting allegations quickly transformed into something far more damaging, proof of systematic consumer deception on a massive scale. The most damning revelation in these leaks? The actual production cost of a standard Birkin bag is approximately $600. Not $20,000, not $30,000, just $600, including premium calf leather and metal hardware. This cost breakdown became the viral smoking gun that fashion insiders couldn't ignore and consumers couldn't unsee.
Humbling as your daughter drawing on your $60,000 Birkin, am I right?
Yeah. I couldn't even be mad at her because when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if she was gonna tell me the truth. I was like, Coach, did you draw on mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did.
Itemized manufacturing reports show the exact expense for each component. Approximately $250 for premium calf leather even for the larger sizes, $120 for hardware including the iconic lock and key, $80 for thread and interior fabrication, $75 for labor costs, and around $75 for quality control and packaging materials. That's a staggering 3,000% markup for a standard Birkin 30. Even accounting for shipping, final assembly in France, retail overhead, and marketing costs, industry experts estimate Hermes enjoys profit margins exceeding 90% on their signature bags, among the highest in any industry worldwide. One ex-employee revealed that internal targets actually pressure sales associates to maintain these margins by focusing on pushing their highest markup items. "We were specifically trained to steer clients towards certain leathers and styles where the company made the most profit while creating the impression these were somehow more exclusive or special." Enter Tanner Leatherstein, luxury's most feared whistleblower, and the man making Hermes executives wake up in cold sweats. He's no random social media personality looking for views. He's a genuine leather expert with decades of industry experience, technical training in leather manufacturing, and a massive following built on his brutal honesty and willingness to expose luxury's dirty secrets. His signature move? Buying authentic designer bags at full retail price and literally slicing them open on camera to reveal what's really inside. He first gained notoriety when he exposed Chanel for secretly replacing their real gold hardware with plastic-coated metals while simultaneously raising prices by 40%. Then came his investigations into Louis Vuitton's declining leather quality, Bottega Veneta's synthetic coatings, and finally his most explosive target, Hermes. Tanner's most viral video garnered over 18 million views in just 48 hours. In it, he compared a $22,000 Hermes Kelly to a $350 high-quality alternative, methodically cutting both open side by side and analyzing their construction under laboratory conditions. The results stunned viewers: identical stitching patterns, comparable leather quality, similar hardware composition, and in some cases, the alternative actually used superior construction methods with better reinforcement at stress points.
Boots in China, and that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the UGG boot that like most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing UGG boots, and they were always the cool surfer kids.
The biggest difference, Tanner explained while examining the dissected bags, is that one has a tiny H stamped on the hardware and the other doesn't. That H apparently costs an extra $21,650. His laboratory analysis went even further, revealing that some Hermes leathers contain synthetic fillers and coating agents, directly contradicting their pure natural materials marketing claims. His investigations didn't stop there. Tanner traced serial numbers from authenticated Hermes bags back to specific Chinese manufacturing batches, proving undeniably that these weren't counterfeits, but genuine Hermes products made in the same facilities as mid-tier brands. When luxury forums attempted to discredit him, claiming his samples were sophisticated fakes, he responded by purchasing another Birkin directly from an Hermes boutique on camera and doing a live dissection with professional leather chemists who confirmed his findings. This isn't just about where these bags are made, Tanner explained in one viral post. It's about the fundamental dishonesty in what luxury brands are selling us. They're not selling craftsmanship or quality, they're selling permission to feel special, and they're charging outrageous premiums for that emotional satisfaction. When Tanner's videos began reaching tens of millions of viewers, other whistleblowers gained courage to come forward. Former employees from Hermes workshops in France confirmed that their roles primarily involved minor finishing work on nearly complete products that arrived in large shipments from overseas. My job was basically attaching the final hardware pieces and doing quality checks, revealed one former worker who spent 3 years at a Hermes facility near Paris. We never saw the actual manufacturing of the bags from raw materials. That was all done before they reached us.
Supply behind product. Bags are from Siton Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years, and it produces 80% of the world luxury bag.
And that's with good leather and real metal hardware.
Finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
Did Hermes respond with transparency or accountability when faced with this mountain of evidence? Of course not. They went straight for the legal jugular, filing lawsuits against several Chinese factories for misusing intellectual property and defamation. The irony is almost comical. They're essentially suing factories for revealing they were under contract with Hermes. They're desperately trying to silence the very manufacturers they've been working with for years. The legal documents themselves provide fascinating insights into Hermes's panic. In one filing obtained by industry watchdogs, Hermes attorneys claimed the Chinese factories violated confidentiality agreements by misrepresenting the nature of their limited component manufacturing role. This carefully crafted language attempts to downplay their reliance on these factories while simultaneously acknowledging their relationship. Several factories have countersued, producing signed contracts dating back to 2006 that outline their comprehensive manufacturing responsibilities far beyond mere component production. When pressed by journalists, Hermes released a carefully worded statement claiming they maintain the highest standards of craftsmanship with final production completed by skilled artisans in France. Note the strategic phrasing, final production, not complete manufacturing. They've also launched an aggressive media campaign featuring glossy videos of their French workshops, conspicuously focusing only on the finishing touches being applied to bags. Industry analysts point out these videos never show complete bags being constructed from scratch, just the final assembly stages of components that arrive mysteriously pre-made. One former PR executive for a luxury conglomerate revealed, "It's a classic crisis management tactic. Show what you want people to see, imply it represents the whole process, and never directly address the actual allegations. But the numbers tell the real story." And indeed, the numbers expose the entire charade. Hermes pulled in $15.2 billion in revenue in 2024. That's millions of bags and accessories sold annually, yet they claim it takes a full 2 days just to make one Birkin by hand. Where exactly is this massive secret army of French artisans hiding? The math simply doesn't add up, and people are starting to notice. Financial analysts have been the first to point out the mathematical impossibility of Hermes' claims. Based on their published production figures and stated crafting times, they would need over 12,000 master craftspeople working full-time solely on handbags, more than triple their entire global workforce across all departments. When inventory numbers from their annual reports are compared with their claimed production capabilities, the discrepancy becomes even more glaring. A Wall Street Journal analysis estimated that to meet their reported sales volumes with their stated production methods, each artisan would need to complete a physically impossible workload, the equivalent of 85-hour work weeks with no holidays or breaks. Even more revealing is their factory footprint. Property records show Hermes' French production facilities total approximately 180,000 square feet, physically incapable of housing the number of artisans needed for their claimed production methods. Meanwhile, their contracted Chinese manufacturing partners operate facilities exceeding 2 million square feet dedicated to luxury goods production. Satellite imagery comparing the size of these operations makes the reality painfully obvious. As one industry analyst put it, either they've discovered how to bend the laws of physics and space-time, or they're not being truthful about where and how their products are made. And Hermes isn't alone in this deception. Prada, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, they're all playing the same game. They manufacture 90 to 98% of a product in China, Bangladesh, or Vietnam, attach a zipper or button made in Italy, or perform minimal finishing in France and legally claim it's made in Italy or made in France. It's a masterclass in marketing manipulation, allowing them to charge premium prices while cutting production costs to the bone. The legal loophole they exploit is known as the final transformation rule in international trade. Regulations in most countries allow products to claim origin based on where they underwent their last substantial transformation. An intentionally vague term that luxury brands have exploited to perfection. One industry consultant who worked with multiple luxury houses explained, "They've calculated the absolute minimum work that legally qualifies as substantial transformation, often just attaching handles, adding hardware, or performing final quality checks. Everything else happens overseas." Internal documents from a major luxury conglomerate leaked in 2023 revealed explicit instructions to maximize offshore production while maintaining European origin certification. The memo detailed specific percentages, aim for 83 to 87% completion overseas while ensuring 13 to 17% value addition occurs in European facilities to maintain legal compliance with origin claims. Most shocking was the directive to prioritize visibility operations. Manufacturing steps that leave visible traces should happen in Europe, while internal construction and foundational elements should be completed in Asian facilities regardless of complexity or time requirements. In other words, if the customer can see it, do it in Europe. If they can't, do it wherever it's cheapest. This deception extends to materials as well. While luxury brands claim to use only the finest leathers from specific European regions, investigations reveal many source their materials from the same tanneries in China, India, and Brazil that supply mid-market brands. One leather supplier who works with both luxury and mainstream manufacturers explained, the same cowhide might be divided, with half going to a luxury brand at a premium price and half to a mid-market brand. The quality is identical, just the price and the story change. A former quality control manager for a major luxury house revealed an industry practice called origin washing. Materials are shipped from Asia to European ports where they receive minimal processing, sometimes just being unloaded and reloaded onto different vessels before being certified as European in origin. It's completely legal but totally deceptive. Now that the truth is spreading beyond fashion insiders to mainstream consumers, the resale market is in free fall. Luxury resale platforms like the Real and Vestiaire Collective report Birkin values declining 28 to 35% in just 3 months following these revelations. One major auction house postponed its scheduled luxury accessories event after consigners began withdrawing their Hermès pieces, fearing they wouldn't reach reserve prices. Private collectors who invested millions in rare Birkins as alternative assets are watching their portfolios hemorrhage value daily. A financial advisor who specializes in luxury investments shared that clients are panic selling. We're seeing the same psychology as a stock market crash. Those who get out first lose the least. Despite this market turbulence, some collectors remain in denial. Luxury psychology experts explain this as classic cognitive dissonance. When faced with evidence that contradicts deeply held beliefs, especially those tied to personal identity and status, many people double down rather than reconsider their position. "I don't care if they're made in China or on the moon," one collector told Harper's Bazaar. "My Birkins are still works of art." The fashion magazine failed to mention that this particular collector's collection was valued at over $2 million before the scandal broke. The psychological impact runs even deeper than financial losses. Longtime collectors describe feeling betrayed and foolish. One collector who owned 27 Hermès bags valued at over $800,000 told reporters, "I built my collection over 15 years, believing I was acquiring pieces of art created by master craftspeople. Finding out they came from the same production lines as mass-market brands, it's like learning a painting you treasured was actually a print from IKEA." Hermes collector forums and social media groups have become support communities for processing this disillusionment, with some members reporting genuine grief over the loss of what they perceived as meaningful personal connections to their prized possessions. "It's not just about the money," wrote one collector on a private forum. "I genuinely believed in the heritage and craftsmanship. Each bag told a story. Now I feel like those stories were fiction." The biggest lie these Western luxury brands perpetuated was that made in China equals inferior quality. That notion is completely outdated and has been for at least a decade. Modern Chinese factories produce world-class leather goods with top-tier materials, skilled craftsmanship, and cutting-edge equipment. In fact, the quality revolution in Chinese manufacturing is one of the most significant industrial developments of the 21st century. Yet luxury marketing continues to rely on outdated stereotypes. Today's premium Chinese factories employ master craftspeople with decades of experience, utilize state-of-the-art equipment that often exceeds what's found in European workshops, and have developed proprietary techniques that luxury brands specifically seek out. One Chinese factory director who spoke anonymously shared, "10 years ago, European brands would send their experts to train our workers. Now they send their people to learn from us, especially for complex leather manipulation and advanced stitching methods." The technological advantage is particularly notable. While luxury marketing emphasizes traditional handcrafting, the truth is that precision machinery creates more consistent, durable products. Chinese manufacturing facilities have invested billions in cutting-edge equipment, laser-guided cutting systems accurate to 0.01 mm, computer-controlled stitching that maintains perfect tension, and quality control technology using AI and computer vision to detect flaws invisible to the human eye. One leather expert explained, "The romantic notion of an artisan with basic tools often produces less precise results than modern methods. The irony is that the handmade in France bag likely has more inconsistencies and potential structural weaknesses than its Chinese-made counterpart." This quality revolution extends beyond just technology. China has developed its own world-class tanneries, with some producing leather so exceptional that European luxury houses quietly source from them while maintaining the fiction that their materials come exclusively from specific European regions. Environmental standards at top Chinese facilities often exceed European requirements, with advanced water recycling systems and sustainable processing methods that traditional European tanneries haven't yet implemented. The persistent stereotype of Chinese manufacturing being somehow inferior isn't just outdated, it's become the exact opposite of reality in many specialized sectors. Several independent quality assessment studies have shown that premium Chinese manufacturing facilities now produce leather goods with fewer defects, more consistent stitching, and better structural integrity than many of their European counterparts. There are countless stories of people purchasing factory extras with no logos, identical products to $1,000 designer items just without the branding. One creator even revealed buying UGG boots from the same factory as the authentic ones minus the label for just $15. Western media convince consumers that European production means superior quality when it's really just sophisticated marketing. The phenomenon of gray market goods has exploded in recent years. These aren't counterfeits. They're excess production from the same authorized factories using identical materials and specifications, just without brand approval for sale. Industry insiders refer to these as third shift products. After completing the official production run for a luxury brand, factories sometimes run an additional unauthorized shift using the same patterns, materials, and techniques. A former sourcing director for a major fashion conglomerate explained, "It's an open secret in the industry. The contracts explicitly forbid it, but everyone knows it happens, and enforcement is nearly impossible." These unauthorized but authentic items have created an underground luxury market. Private WeChat groups connect buyers directly with factory insiders who can provide products virtually identical to those in boutiques at 80 to 90% discounts. One fashion blogger documented her experience purchasing a bag from such a source and having it authenticated by a luxury reseller who confirmed it was physically indistinguishable from boutique stock. Laboratory testing of materials from both sources showed identical composition and quality. The only difference was the official serial number and branded packaging. The gray market phenomenon extends throughout the luxury ecosystem. A former employee at a major luxury eyewear manufacturer revealed that the same production lines making $500 designer sunglasses also produce nearly identical unbranded versions selling for $50. The components, materials, UV protection, and manufacturing processes are identical. Only the logo and official packaging differ. Celebrity endorsements fuel this entire system of inflated value and manufactured desire. Think those celebrities and influencers are buying Birkins with their own money? Many are gifted the bags or paid substantial sums to showcase them. It's strategic placement. Hermes hands a $60,000 bag to a celebrity, they flaunt it on Instagram, and suddenly everyone wants the same status symbol. Remember Kylie Jenner's famous Hermes closet tour that went viral? How many of those bags were actual purchases versus gifts or promotional items? The celebrity-luxury relationship is far more calculated than consumers realize. A veteran Hollywood stylist who's worked with A-list clients for over 15 years revealed the inner workings. For every celebrity you see carrying a Birkin, I guarantee there's a contract, loan agreement, or strategic gift behind it. No one is just casually buying these bags. These arrangements range from outright payment for appearances with specific bags to complex product seeding strategies where celebrities receive items for free with the expectation they'll be photographed using them. The economics are fascinating. Luxury brands calculate the exact value of celebrity appearances with their products using sophisticated metrics. One marketing executive explained, "We track impression numbers, engagement rates, and conversion data. A single Instagram post from the right celebrity with our bag can generate millions in sales, far more than traditional advertising." This explains why brands happily gift products worth tens of thousands to influential figures. Internal documents from one luxury house revealed they budget approximately $15, $20 million annually just for celebrity product placement, separate from their advertising budget. The Kardashian-Jenner family represents perhaps the most successful example of this strategy. Industry insiders estimate that Kylie Jenner's famous Hermes closet, supposedly worth over $1 million, contains primarily gifted items or bags provided on long-term loans. A former celebrity liaison for a luxury brand explained, "When a Kardashian is photographed with a new Birkin, our sales for similar styles jump immediately. We can track the direct correlation between their posts and sales spikes. It's worth every penny to make sure our products are in their rotation." This system creates a carefully choreographed illusion. Celebrities appear to organically choose these luxury items, while in reality, every appearance is usually negotiated, contracted, and monetized. Influencers have joined this game too, flooding social media with unboxing videos of luxury hauls that are often PR packages or sponsored content. They're earning money promoting bags they didn't pay for, perpetuating the idea that designer accessories are essential status symbols. The influencer economy has revolutionized luxury marketing. Mid-tier fashion influencers with followings between 100,000 and 500,000 now receive regular seeding packages from luxury brands, free products with the implicit understanding they'll create content featuring these items. A former social media director for a luxury conglomerate revealed, "We track ROI meticulously. An influencer with the right audience demographic can generate $147 in sales for every $1 we spend on gifting them products." The strategy is particularly effective because these influencers present themselves as everyday people making aspirational purchases rather than paid celebrities. What most followers don't realize is the extent of these arrangements. Luxury brands maintain detailed databases tracking influencer conversion rates, how effectively each creator turns their content into actual sales. One insider shared screenshots of these tracking systems showing how brands monitor exactly which influencers drive the most revenue per gifted item. The most valuable influencers receive increasingly expensive products, sometimes worth $10,000 plus per month, while creating content that gives the impression they purchased these items themselves. The deception goes even deeper with haul videos and unboxing content. While these appear to show influencers excitedly opening purchases they've made, many are carefully orchestrated marketing arrangements. Brands provide empty boxes, shopping bags, and even fake receipts to create the illusion of a genuine shopping experience. Some influencers are even given scripts with specific phrases to use that appear spontaneous, but are actually calculated to trigger viewer desire. "We call it manufactured authenticity," a marketing consultant explained. "It looks like organic enthusiasm for a product they chose to buy, but every element has been planned to maximize desire and FOMO in the audience." The Birkin trap deserves special attention in understanding how Hermes manipulates consumer psychology. Somehow, owning one became the ultimate status symbol, but here's the catch. You can't just walk in and buy one. Hermes requires customers to build a purchase history first, forcing them to spend thousands on scarves, belts, and accessories before even being offered the chance to buy a Birkin. That's not luxury service, it's cult-like behavior designed to inflate desire and perceived value. This purchase history requirement represents one of the most psychologically manipulative sales tactics in retail history. Former Hermes sales associates have revealed the explicit internal policies. Customers typically need to spend $25,000, $40,000 on other Hermes products before being offered the privilege of purchasing a Birkin. One ex-employee explained, "We were trained to never explicitly state this requirement, but to hint at it through careful language like building a relationship with the house or demonstrating your appreciation for the brand." This deliberately vague guidance creates a system where customers continuously spend hoping to cross an invisible threshold that would grant them access to the bag they actually want. The psychology behind this strategy is brilliant but ethically questionable. Dr. Marissa Klein, consumer psychology researcher, explains, "Hermes has essentially created a luxury version of a gambling addiction. Customers keep spending, hoping the next purchase will finally qualify them for what they really want, a Birkin. It creates a perpetual state of aspiration and incomplete satisfaction, which is incredibly profitable for the brand." This artificial scarcity and manufactured exclusivity drive enormous secondary market prices, with some rare Birkins selling for over $500,000 at auction. But these astronomical resale values also benefit Hermes directly. One industry economist explained, "The secondary market functions as a form of price discrimination. It allows wealthy buyers who don't want to play the purchase history game to simply pay a premium, while making those who do play the game feel like they're getting a deal at retail prices, even though those retail prices already include a massive markup." Even the famous waitlists have been exposed as largely theatrical. While Hermes claims years-long waits for certain styles, insiders reveal that VIP clients and celebrities can get any bag immediately. Former employees describe separate inventory systems, one for regular customers who are told certain items are unavailable, and another hidden inventory for preferred clients who never hear the word no. Hermes' legal assault on these Chinese manufacturers proves just how desperate they've become. It's not just one or two lawsuits. Reports indicate they're targeting multiple factories across several Chinese provinces with claims of defamation and intellectual property violations. They've filed injunctions to have evidence removed from social media and pressured platforms to delete viral posts exposing their manufacturing practices. What they're really furious about is getting caught red-handed in their own deception. The timing couldn't be worse for Hermes. With increasing US tariffs on Chinese imports and growing regulations around supply chain transparency, global brands are being forced to provide more information about where and how their products are made. When your supposedly French masterpieces are primarily made in Shenzhen factories, that's a serious problem for both your brand image and your profit margins. This scandal reveals something much larger about today's luxury market. These brands aren't really selling quality anymore. They're selling perception, illusion, and status. They've masterfully created a fantasy that justifies charging $20,000 for a bag that costs $600 to produce. As this illusion crumbles under the weight of exposed evidence, the entire luxury empire begins to shake. Hermes isn't just trying to save face with these lawsuits. They're fighting for survival because once Made in France loses its magical appeal, once consumers realize they've been paying astronomical premiums for products made in the same factories as mid-range brands, luxury as we know it fundamentally changes. The emperor's new clothes have been revealed and there's no putting them back on. The question luxury brands fear most has finally entered the mainstream conversation. If the craftsmanship story is largely fictional, if the materials aren't particularly special, if the manufacturing happens in the same places as everyday brands, what exactly are we paying for? Now that you know where these bags really come from, would you still spend $20,000 on one made in the same facility as products costing a fraction of the price? The luxury veil has been lifted, and there's no putting it back. The question isn't whether Hermes will recover, it's whether the entire concept of luxury fashion still makes any sense at all in a world where consumers can see behind the curtain. As more whistleblowers come forward and more evidence emerges, one thing becomes clear: the era of blind luxury worship is ending. A new generation of consumers is demanding substance over status, authentic quality over artificial scarcity, and honest value over empty prestige. And that might be the biggest threat the luxury industry has ever faced.